everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After 2 weeks of hockey, we're over to the gridiron for the next 2 weeks. First up on that, we're going to play Inside Blitz Football from Inside Sports Games. As you might be able to guess, this one's a football simulator. For today's video, we're going to travel back to 2006 to replay Super Bowl 41. With that, let's meet the teams from Super Bowl 41. The NFC champion for the 2006 season was the Chicago Bears. Every team's going to have sheets similar to this configuration. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything on the team. This is just kind of a quick glance to show you guys what the sheets look like. So we've got all of our players on here. This is the setup for the pass plays up here and the runs, along with our quarterbacks. Then we've got defense and special teams on here. So that's just how look at how the seasons work. Now let's go meet the AFC champion from that year. Opposing the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 41 was the AFC champion Indianapolis Colts. Here's a look at their offense and their run offense and their pass plays. And then we'll look at the defense and special teams, take a quick glance at them. So that's all set for the Colts. Now let's move over to the main game area to check the shot over there. The shot looks to be a cluttered mess, I realize. So let me see if I can make a little bit more sense of everything that's on here. So of course I've got the teams on either side of the board over here, just off shot. I've got my scoreboard. Where's my laser pointer? I've got the scoreboard up here. If you've been following my payoff pitch baseball replay playoffs for 1991, you'll recognize that same board. Dice Tower's up over here. We're going to have the clock up over here. That's going to be a little bit hard to see, but I will point out everything that's going on. We also need a fast action deck over here. And what I've got up here, this is interesting. So I'm keeping a stat card as well for Inside Blitz. I've got both teams on here, and I've got the various indexes that I need to see at first glance. Now, you've probably seen me do something like that before with Appa Hockey and with Inside Pitch. So I'm kind of liking those stat cards, especially when I don't have to go flipping through everything so I can find what I need in a hurry. But that's everything set up here, and of course we've got the mat over here. We've got the football mat that you've seen before for Glory Days Pro Football. I've got a brown block over here that I'm going to use as the ball, and then this will be the first down marker, this red pawn. I've got two other red pawns to denote the quarter and the down. Actually, let me grab another couple of other pawns out from in the box because I was going to use those as reference points to help me keep the plays straight. I'll put those blue pawns down here just out of shot. That's all those are for, is to help me keep the play straight. So I know for my key players, I can go to them in a hurry. So I think we're all set to get into this one. So let's get down to the field for the coin toss. The way we're going to resolve the coin toss in this game is everything's on a 3d6 system. So we're going to use blue, white, and black dice. We'll use the blue die, how did I set this up? We'll use the blue die for the row on each matrix. So let me pull one of these sheets up real quick. So you can see each player is going to have a matrix on here. Each situation has a matrix. So we'll use the blue number to get the row, the white number to get the column, and then there will be a result in here. The left result will always be better. The right result will be worse, and that will turn on the impact of the black die, which I'll explain a little bit more as we go through the first few plays nice and slow. But for purposes of the coin toss, we're going to do a simple 2d6 roll. So Indianapolis will be represented by the blue die, Chicago will be represented by the white die, and the black die will be the decision die, essentially. So the higher of the blue or white die roll will determine who wins the coin toss. And then the black is going to be, for odds, they'll elect to receive the first half kickoff. Evens, they'll defer taking the ball to the second half. So let's roll out the coin toss. Okay, so Chicago has won the coin toss, and they will elect to receive. Where did my pen go? Right here. So Chicago wins the toss. Will receive first half kickoff. All right, so Indianapolis is kicking off. I've also got a log sheet where I'm keeping all of my plays on here. So I've got Chicago set up on this side, which means Chicago will be trying to score this way. Indianapolis, similarly, is set up over on this side of the board, so they'll be trying to go in this direction. Yes, the mat is from second season football, but it will actually will do the job that we need it to do. So Indianapolis will be kicking off from the 30, which I believe was the historical kickoff line in 2006. So now we need the kickoff roster. We'll also have to flip a fast action card to see if there's a penalty check right off the bat. So that's what the fast action card is for. Penalty would be indicated down here, but there is no penalty on this one. The fast action cards might be used for a few different things, but I'll explain what those are going to be for when we get into them. So we flipped that over for no penalty, which means now we kick off. So we've got Adam Vinatieri for the kickoffs. We'll use so on the matrix for the kickoff is a little bit different. Where on a kickoff, whatever result you get is so the left result after the slash is going to be the yardage you kick off, and the number on the right is the number that the kicker needs to pass for the coverage to be good. So we'll give this a roll and we'll see what happens here. So for the kickoff, so we roll a 4-4. Coming back over to the matrix, we go down to 4-4 and we see it's going to be a 67-yard kick. And then the coverage that we need to beat is a 3. We see it's a 5, so it would need to be under the result. So we see it's going to be bad coverage for the kickoff. So that's going to be a 67-yard kickoff, which means Chicago will take that. So Chicago will take that at the 3. Now we flip another fast action card, and then on the kick return plays, that will determine who is going to be our return man. That's determined by the number up here. So Rashid Davis will be returning that, and since the Colts failed their coverage check, that means we'll be rolling for a better result for Rashid Davis, which means we'll roll the 2d6. Actually, we just need the red and the blue and the white d6. All right, that's a 2-4. So we come over to Davis's matrix. We find row 2, column 4, which will be a 16-yard return. So 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a 16-yard return. And we'll tick off 10 seconds. So we're at 14:50 to go in the first quarter, and it's now 1st and 10 for Chicago from their own 19. So 1st and 10. Chicago own 19. Now this is where the stat sheet is going to start to come into play for us, because we have a formula to determine where. So we're going to be on this matrix at this point, or on this set of matrices. So based on the offensive play calling index, so we're going to be down times distance plus the offensive index. Right now it's 1st and 10, so 1 times 10 is 10, plus 1 for Chicago is 11, which will bring Indianapolis out in starters. So now we're going to roll on this matrix to get our play. That's a 5-6. So on starters, we come to 5-6, and Chicago's going for a medium pass already. So Chicago's looking for a medium pass. Their target is going to be the number based on the last play. So 3 on a medium pass will bring us over. It's actually going to be a little bit more involved than that, so we actually need both sheets ready. Medium pass here on a 3 is going to be targeting Muhsin Muhammad. But there's also a key player that we're going to be checking, and that comes off of this card. Offensive kicking team penalty. Roll now against the penalty rating. If we're above the rating, no penalty. So we roll. So Chicago's penalty range is a 5. If they're above that, there's no penalty. We'll roll a d6 for that. 3, so there will be a penalty. 5 is going to be a false start, which will be a 5, which will back them up. That'll be a 1st and 15, which will put Chicago on their own 14. Okay, so that can move out of the way at this point. Actually, we'll put that... I want to make sure I keep the play intact so I can check the penalty. So now we're on 1st and 15, which now the formula 15 plus 1 is 16 will still bring them out in starters. We're still looking for Muhammad, and the player we're checking, now we have a defensive penalty, so now we have to roll for the Colts penalty rating. Their penalty rating on defense is a 4. Actually, that's after the play. So we need to keep flipping over until we get a key player. Okay, here we go. And this play is going to end out of bounds, which will impact the time. On a medium pass, the key player we're looking at is the middle linebacker. So in starters, for the Colts, the middle linebacker is going to be Gary Brackett when we're looking at the medium pass rating. So now that we've got that sorted out, first we need to roll on Grossman's. So first for the play, let me find my rule book here. Oh, here it is. So first for the play, let me find the pass play. Here we go. So first we're actually going to be rolling on Grossman's medium pass matrix. And I believe, actually, yeah, we need the black d6 for this as well. So we're going to finally get to a first offensive play. 1st and 15 for the Colts from their own 14 after a false start. Back them up. Making a note here. So now we finally get to roll for a play. Do we tick off? I think we took off another 10 seconds on the false start. So I will tick off another 10 seconds there. Anyway, now we roll for the play. That's going to be a 6-2. So going to Grossman's card. That's a reception. So we check it against the receiver's catch rating, I believe. Roll a d6 and check the catch rating. If greater than the receiver's catch rating, which in this case is a 6, Muhammad's catch rating is a 6, as you can see in the box right there. So it is a 6, which means we'll roll on the matrix for the result of the play. And I forgot to note that the number is 3. So that's going to be a 2-3 from Muhammad on a medium pass. 2-3 is 10 yards, which will get him back to the 24. But we need to check the penalty, which the Colts penalty rating range is a 4. A 3 means, I believe, no penalty if you're lower than your penalty rating, right? I'm just going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. The rating check is less than or equal to... No, so there is a penalty called on the Colts. Let's see what they got caught for. I know I've got a penalty chart here somewhere. Here we go. So it's a pass play against... It's going to be a penalty against the defense. So we're going to take 2d6 and we're going to read those apostyle. We'll read when we have to roll 2d6 apostyle, we'll read them blue, then white. Let's see, a 12 is going to be an offside, which logically they would probably decline the penalty. Yeah, logically they would decline the penalty and take 10 yards. So we'll tick off another 10 seconds from the clock and we'll go to 2nd and 5. So 11 will bring Indianapolis back out in starters again. Actually, we would have tipped off 10 yards anyway because the play ended out of bounds. So this time, so 1, this is going to be second and 5 for Chicago from their own 24. Now we roll for the play on the matrix for starters. Actually, I'm going to bring that over here, since I'll be rolling on this side anyway. There we are. All right, a 3-3 in starters is going to be an inside left. This play can never end out of bounds, and the target for this one is going to be 13 on an inside run, which means we'll be giving that ball off to Thomas Jones. So 13. And the key player we're checking here is on an inside left. We're checking the left tackle. So we'll be checking, I'm going to put those there. So where's the other blue? Here's the other blue pawn. So the left tackle in this case is John Tate. So we'll be checking him for the play. So second and 5 for Chicago from their own 24. All right, that's a 4-4, but the 5 means the Bears actually fail that check. I believe they want to be lower than that. That's usually the rule I go with on these inside sports games, where if you have a skill check of some kind, you always want to be at or lower than that. I'm just going to double check that real quick. There should have been a reference for a run play here. The key player is an offensive lesser yardage is used. Okay. So he fails the check. A 4-4 for Jones is going to be a 2-yard run. That's 2 yards. And now it's going to be, so 2 yards, we tick off 40 seconds for the play, 10, 20, 30, 40. And it's now 3rd down and 3. 9 plus 1 is 10. We'll leave Indianapolis in starters. 3rd and 3. We'll roll for the play. 4-1 is going to be an inside right to defensive weakness. I'm not playing with the defensive weaknesses. I'm going to keep it as basic as I can. So that's going to be an inside right. Chicago at their own 26. The key player, we're going to be giving this ball to Cedric Benson this time. And the player we're checking on an inside right. We got a quarterback fumble check, and we're checking the right guard on an inside right. So we're going to be checking Roberto Garza on that one. And I have to double check how we check fumbles. Is there something on... There'll probably be something in here where we check for fumbles. Here we are. After the play is over, we'll check that. Okay. So now we roll for the inside right. All right, a 3 first, which Garza passes that. So now we go to 2-6, which will be 4 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4. Theoretically, that's enough for Chicago to pick up the first down, but now we need to check for the fumble. So roll a d6 and check if it's equal to the ball carrier's fumble rating, which we needed to check for the quarterback on that. His fumble is a 4. So what did we say? Equal to or lower, higher, disregard the fumble. 3, so there is a fumble. We need to figure out who recovers it. Which means we're going to be rolling 2d6 APA style and combining those. Chicago loses it on an 11-32. Indy picks it up on a 41-55. That's a 14, so Chicago actually loses that fumble. Right? Yes, Chicago will lose the fumble. Indy will pick it up right there, and they've got a very short field to work with. So that will tick off... That'll tick off... Well, we'll tick off 40 seconds for that, but Indy just got a big gift on that one, and hopefully we can start to pick up the pace a little bit here. So 1st and 10. Indy on the Chicago 30. Now we get to check a play call for the Colts. So we're 1st and 10 for Indy from the Chicago 30. Indianapolis is... Okay, Chicago's going to come out in 1st and 10. So 10 plus 4 is 14. That'll put Chicago in starters. Rolling the play call for the Colts. 2-3 in starters is going to be a sweep left. Sweep left. The target player is going to be number 22 for the Colts. Wait. No. That's going to be 22. Okay, never mind. So 22 for the Colts on an inside run is going to be Joseph Adai. And who are we checking on that one? That's a sweep left. So on this card, we're checking. On a sweep left, we're checking the right outside back. And this play can end out of bounds. Will end out of bounds. Right outside back in starters is Lance Briggs. So his run defense is a 5. Which means on defense, if he rolls his skill check, we'll use the lesser of the 2 yardages. So now we're rolling for 1st and 10 for the Colts from the Chicago 30. All right, that's a 3, so Briggs passes his check. Then a 3-6 on, what did we say this was? Oh, this was sweep left, so this is going to end outside. 3-6 is going to be 2 yards, and the play will end out of bounds. So, okay. So, and we ended out of bounds. So that's going to be 2nd and 8. That's going to be 2nd and 8 for Indy from the Chicago 28. 16 plus 4 is 20 is actually going to bring Chicago out in nickel. 1-5 says Indy is going for a quick pass on this one. The key player is going to be number 2 on a quick pass. So for the Colts on a quick pass, that's going to be a die getting tossed that one. Who's the key player on a quick pass? Key player here. We have an injury check after that, but we're looking at the right defensive end in nickel. For Chicago, that's going to be Alex Brown on a quick pass. Before we resolve the play, I do need to take a small break. Now we're all set for the play. So first up, Manning's got to roll for a short pass. I'm going to see if I can find the play references for the quarterback's card on a pass play. Here we are. All right, so that's going to be a 3-5 for Manning, which is a possible reception. Checking the D6 against Adai's reception rating, he will make that play. Yeah. So Adai will make the catch on that, which means we'll roll the 2d6 for the yardage. 6-5 on a quick pass is going to be 7 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And that play, oh, we had an injury check as well. So I believe we checked the ball carrier on an injury. Follow the procedure on the injury chart. Let's see, which one is the injury chart? Okay, first roll 2d6 to check who potentially gets hurt from the injury section. Oh, here's the injury. So I'm on I'm on this lookup chart right now. There's a column here for injury. 43 says the key player. So that was the right defensive end. His injury rating is a 1, which I believe means there would be no... If roll is higher, player is not injured. All right, so we'll give that a quick roll. That's a 4, so he's not injured. Okay. All clear there. And now it's going to be 3rd and 1. For Indy from the Chicago 21. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7 will bring Chicago out in a run defense. 2-5 is going to be a short pass. You got to tick off another 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. That's going to be a short pass targeting player 35, which on a short pass is going to be Ben Utecht, one of the tight ends. And the key player that we're looking at here on a short pass is going to be the left inside back in run. So in run defense, left... Oh, we don't have a left inside back. So this play is happening entirely without interference, essentially. So we're looking at a... So basically, Manning can potentially get a free play out of this one. This is a short pass. Let's see, a 2-2. For Manning, that's an X. Is that checking? I believe an X checks against the... An X on a pass play, I believe, checks against the key player's defensive rating. But of course, we don't have a key defensive player. So the catch will be made by Utecht, which means now we need to get a matrix result. A 3-2. 3-2. It's going to be 10 yards, and that's good for a first down. We'll tick off 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. All right, that will be 1st and 10 for Indy from the Chicago 11. Bring the chains down here. Indy can still get into the end zone without, or can get a first down without getting a touchdown. 10 plus 4 is 14 will bring Chicago out in starters. 3-6 is going to be another short pass, since that game seems to be working. Indy will target player 75 with that one. A short pass on 75 is going to Dominic Rhodes on that one. And we are checking. We're checking for a quarterback fumble. Oh boy. But on a short pass, we're checking the nickel back, which I don't think starters... I was going to say, starters doesn't usually have a nickel back, so not happening here. I do want to check the quarterback fumble, though. Should be returnable on all even-numbered fumble checks against the quarterback's card. That means if the quarterback runs or sacks, we'll have to check against the quarterback's fumble rating. Okay, so they just don't want Manning to try to take off here. We don't have a key defensive player in this one, so now we'll roll for the play, and it's 1st and 10. Five-1. Pressure, so it looks like they got to Manning on this one, which means so we check the pass rush section, except there is no key rating. So, okay, we'll roll a 1d6 check roll versus the key player's pass rush rating, which there is no key player. So if it's greater... So basically he avoids the pressure and he's looking for somebody to throw to. So we need to make an APA roll to see where Manning's looking instead. For a secondary receiver. And we use corresponds to a range, yada, yada, yada. Use the 1 to 82 on the on the fast action chart under secondary receiver to see who's at that distance at the target. So we'll re-roll all 3 dice. So where's he looking? 43 says he's looking medium instead, and at medium depth, he's looking at 72, at player 72. So medium 72, he's looking at Dallas Clark. I don't know what the SP is on there. And of course it doesn't say on here, because that would make too much sense. All right, so now we roll for the catch rating for Dallas Clark, but as a 3, that will get down that'll hit the ground and be incomplete. So Chicago ducking a huge bullet there. So we'll tick off 10 seconds, and it will be 2nd and 10 for Indy from the Chicago 11. $20 plus 4 is 24. Will bring Chicago out a nickel this time. 2-4 is going to be another short pass. This time they're a nickel. They're looking at number 30, player 32 on another short pass. So 32 on a short pass. They're looking at Aaron Moorhead for that one. And the key player on a short pass this time. On a short pass, they're looking at the nose tackle, which a nickel is non-existent. So another gift for target we established was 32. None. All right, so we're looking at another short pass. Let's see what Manning and the Colts can do with this one. A 6-6. That's a possible reception, but a 3 is going to drop for incomplete. And it will now be 3rd and 10. We'll tick off 10 seconds for that. So 3rd and 10. The drive seems to have stalled here for the Colts. 30 plus 4 is 34. Will bring Chicago out in dime. 3-3 is going to be a medium pass this time. The Colts are looking at player 37. On a medium pass, 37 is Reggie Wayne. And on a medium pass, let's see who we're checking. We're checking quarterback fumble we need to keep in mind as well. But the right cornerback is who we're looking at in dime, which is going to be Nathan Vasher, and we're looking at a medium pass. Okay. So, let's see what happens on this play. First on Manning's card. A 6-5 at a medium pass. Is an X, so we're checking against the defensive player's key rate, against the defensive player's defense rating. Since it's greater, I believe then the pass is complete. So Wayne will catch that one. And he'll probably score if I had to take a wild guess, but let's find out for sure. Yeah. A 2-3 is going to be good for 14 yards, and that will get the Colts into the end zone for the touchdown. So Reggie Wayne with an 11-yard pass from Peyton Manning. That's at 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's at 4:20. Yeah, 4:20 of the first quarter. Reggie Wayne, 11-yard pass from Manning. And now we have to see if Adam Vinatieri adds the point after touchdown. I believe we flip a card if there's a penalty, just to see if there's a penalty, but then we'll roll on the extra point chart So yeah, we'll flip over a card to see if there's a penalty. Manning didn't have to take off. No penalty here. And then I'm not even going to bother rolling with an extra point in the 11 to 66 range. Vinatieri will add the PAT. And that will make the score 7-0 in favor of the Colts. And we're off to the Bears are off to a pretty rough start here in Super Bowl 41, or Super Bowl 41 replay. Okay, so the Colts are going to be getting ready to kick this one back off to the Bears. Which means now we roll again for Vinatieri's kickoff. Actually, we first check if there's a penalty of some kind. So we flip over a card just for that. No penalty here, which means we will be kicking off. Vinatieri and the Colts ready to kick. A 4-4. It's going to be 67 yards, and 3 is the rating that they need to beat, which this time they do beat that. I think I had that backwards earlier. No, right, less than or equal to is good coverage. Okay, so 67, which means Chicago will take that at the 3. Who's kicking off this time? Who's returning at this time for the Bears? Let me get kick return ready. Number 7, it's Davis taking it once again. So we'll roll for his coverage, or for his return, but we're using a lesser number because the coverage is good. 6-4. Actually, let me finish making some notes here. So target is 7. Coverage is good. 6-4. It's going to be a 9-yard return. So that one will get out to the 12. And that's where Chicago will take over with 1st and 10 at their own 12. All right, the play. Okay, so 10 plus 1 is 11. Will bring Indy out in starters. Play call here is going to be 5-6. Which Chicago is going to be looking to go long themselves with a medium pass. I'm going to flip over a new fast action card for this and take both take the target and the key player off of this card. Actually, no. I think we're going to use the discarded card like normal. So on a medium pass for Chicago, they're looking to Masin Muhammad for this one, and for the key player on a, what did we note? Medium pass. Key player on a medium pass. Quarterback fumble, so we have to keep an eye on that. Left outside back in starters, which in starters for the Colts is Gilbert Gardner on a medium pass. Okay, let me get Grossman's card, I say, ready over here. Okay, looking at the medium pass, let's see what happens on this first play. 1st and 10 for Chicago from their own 12. That's a 3. Well, first we check the rating, which Gardner very much fails that check on a 5, so actually 3-5. So on a 3-5 on a medium pass, pressure, oh boy. The pressure rating is a 5, so they will get to him. Let's see what happens here. Pressure outcome. Okay, so, yep, they got to him. So we roll a 2d6 and check his pressure area, which is... Where is the pressure area on the card? Section between the two matrices in the middle of the card? What? Hold on, something's not right here. Roll 2d6 again and check the quarterback's pressure. There's like a PR area. Oh, I see what it is. Okay. Took me a little bit to find it, but it's actually right here. I really wish you would do something, would put like a pressure note on here or something, because it's a little bit hard to find it there. So we're rolling for an APA roll in that section. A 14 says he's going to get sacked, and we rolled for 2d6 for yardage lost. And they're going to lose 8 yards on the sack. Ouch. All right, that was the left outside back. Sacked, 8-yard loss, which is going to send them back to the 4. 10, 20, 30, 40. All right, and that's going to bring up second down and a lot, anyway. So 2nd and 18 from their own 4. $36 plus 1 is 37 is going to bring Indy out in dime. 2-3 is going to be a short pass. Short pass is looking for... Oh, we got to check for a fumble as well. I almost forgot about that because he got sacked. So hang on. Indy may be able to pick up the ball again here. I just want to double check the right offensive fumble. Okay, so hold on. Forgot we had to check a fumble. 35 says nothing happened, so Chicago will keep the ball. But as I was saying, 2nd and 18, so short pass, looking at player 31, which on a short pass is going to be Desmond Clark, looking at that one. And then the key player we're checking here, fumble, so we're going to have a check on that at the end of the play. But we're looking at the free safety. In this case, that is going to be in dime. That is going to be Marlon Jackson on, I believe we called a short pass. Yep, short pass. Okay. Let me finish making some notes here. 31, we're looking at the free safety. All right, we are all set for the play. So before we get into that, actually, I do need to take a small break. Okay, we're finally back. So let's roll for this short pass for Chicago. 2nd and 18 from their own 4. First up is Grossman. Let's see, a 6-3 on a, what did we say, short pass. 6-3 is an X rating, and a 1, that's going to get knocked down incomplete. Which will bring up 3rd and 18. We'll take off 10 seconds for that. And that'll leave Indy, fumble adjustment, but never mind. No completed pass there, so no problem there. That will leave Indianapolis out in dime. Let's see what the play is here. 1-1 is going to be an inside left. I don't know why you would call an inside left here. I assume you're able to override the play if you're using the matrices. Because, yeah, there's no way in the world you'd even be looking anywhere near any kind of run. Well, you wouldn't definitely, maybe this early you'd be fine with it, but later in the game, if you're in this kind of situation, you would not even be thinking about running the football. But we're going to go with it for the time being. Who knows, maybe they'll catch a break against a defense that isn't expecting it. Here's Cedric Benson, and the key player that we're going to be looking at here is the nose tackle, which in dime, they don't have one, so maybe. But I'm not holding my breath on that. Anyway, let's get the roll for Benson and see what the Bears are doing with this one. Might as well roll the black D6 even though there isn't a key defensive player here. A 2-5. It's going to be a special. So we roll again on the S chart, which is right. So we're rolling on the S or 2 chart. So we're rolling here. We need an APA roll for that. Oop, come on. A 32 is going to be good for 13 yards, but that definitely won't be enough. 10, 11, 12, 13. That won't be enough, as Chicago will still have to punt it away. So Chicago is going to bring on the punt team once I tick off 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so Chicago is punting it over to Indianapolis. And I believe the punt works in a similar fashion to the kickoff. They're outside the 50, so they've got all kinds of mileage to go here. I'm pretty sure we flip over a card just to see if there's a penalty and then resolve the punt the same way as the kickoff. Return penalties can call for an all-out rush. All returns be... Okay. Roll 2d6 and check the punter. Okay. Alright, so yep, looks like we resolve it the same way. Okay, that's going to be a 4. Okay, I forgot to flip. Did we flip the card? Yes, we did. So we checked for the penalty. 4-1 outside the 50 is going to be 32. Oh boy. 32 yards, and I believe the N on the punt column is going to be a fair catch. No return. Ball is dead after going out of bounds. That's a terrible punt. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2. And once again, Indy has excellent field position. That was 4th and probably about 5. Own 17. Punting. And 32 out of bounds. Which means we'll tick off 10 seconds, and then Indianapolis will take over with very good field position. They're at the Chicago 49. 10 plus 4 is 14 will bring Chicago out in starters. We'll switch over to the offensive sheets for Indy, defensive for Chicago in a minute. First, we'll get the play call. 4-3 is going to be an inside right. We'll switch over to the defensive sheet for Chicago. Number 65 on an inside right, which these can't go out of bounds. So 65, they're going to be giving the ball to Dominic Rhodes. And the key player that we're looking at here on an inside right is going to be the middle linebacker. And starters is Brian Urlacher. Oh boy. So the Colts are going to try to make something happen against Urlacher. This seems like a laugh, but I've seen stranger things happen. 65. Key player is the middle linebacker. 1st and 10 to Indy from the Chicago 49. That's a 1, so Urlacher will definitely penetrate the line on a 2-3. That'll be a 1-yard run. That could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. But we'll take off another 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. And it will be 2nd and 10 for Chicago, for 2nd and 9, I should say. For Indy from the Chicago 48. 16 plus 4 is 20. Will bring Chicago out a nickel. 4-4 and nickel for Indy is going to be a medium pass. This pass is going to be intended for number 48. Medium pass for the Colts is going to be intended for Reggie Wayne. Let's see who our key player on a medium pass is. Uh-oh, fumble with an adjustment of -1 after the play. All right, medium pass. We're looking at the right cornerback in nickel. Right cornerback is Nathan Vasher again, and we're looking at a medium pass here. All right, so we've got a fumble check that we're making. Let's see what happens with the Colts here. First, we're looking at Manning's card on a medium pass. I'll make a note of the target player. Okay. Oop. And I just hold on to the dice there. Minor relief. All right, a 1 is going to be, well, 3-2. We got to see where we're going on Manning's card. 3-2 on a medium pass. That's a possible reception. Wayne will catch that one. And a 5-2. A 5-2. That's going to be good for 12 yards and a first down, assuming they keep the ball. So 12 yards will be good for a... I'm not going to do Dave Gardner's first down impression, but I will see if there's a fumble. Wayne's fumble rating is a 1. He will hold on to that one very easily. And that's a first down. Okay, yes, I did Dave Gardner's first down, and it was probably horrendous. He'll probably yell at me in the comments section to please never do that again. And Dave, I will gladly never do that again. Anyway, now it's 1st and 10 for Indy. And they're now at the Chicago 37. 1st and 14 will bring Chicago back out in starters again. 3-5 is going to be another short pass. Indy seems to be making most of their plays through the air today. Short pass going to receiver 50. Short pass going to 50 is going to be going to Brian Fletcher. We need to check our key... Oh, okay, we did check the fumble already. I forgot there was an adjustment of -1, but it still wouldn't cause him to fumble. On a short pass, the key player we're looking at here. Fumble, adjustment of -1, and returnable. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, we're looking here at... Short pass, we're looking at the free safety in starters, which in starters, free safety is Chris Harris on a short pass of a 1. Okay. Let's see what Manning does here. It's a short pass. 3-6 is going to be an X rating, which, right, we go to the key defender. 4. That's not going to get knocked down. Fletcher will catch this one. On a 4-6. That'll be good for 1 yard, but we need to check the fumble on that. His fumble, fumble is a 0, so he's not going to fumble that. Okay, not even worried about that. 10, 20, 30, 40. And it's now 2nd and 9. No fumble. We were looking at the right cornerback. Right, so we're looking at 2nd and 9 for Indy from the Chicago 36. 18 plus 4 is 22. Will bring Chicago out in nickel. Play call here is going to be a 4-2. That's a medium pass. And our key player on a medium pass offensive kicking team penalty, so we'll check that after the play. On a medium pass, we're looking at the left cornerback in nickel. So that is Charles Tillman, and we're looking at a medium pass. All right, target is, what did we say? Target is, wait, I don't think we ever established a target. 81 on a medium pass. That's going to be Dominic Rhodes. And then target is, so 81. And the key player on the medium pass was left cornerback. So the left cornerback there is Tillman, which we set that up already. Okay. All right, so now we'll roll for the play, but we will have to check for an offensive penalty when the play is over. All right, so that's a 6-5 for Manning on a medium pass. 6-5 is checking the catch rate. Yep, checking the key defensive player. That's a 2, so that's going to get incomplete, but we got to check but there's a flag on the play, so we will have to check that. And that would be on the offense. Indy's penalty range is a 5, which I believe we established higher is no penalty. Okay, so yeah, higher is no penalty. That was hovering on still being a penalty, but it will definitely be a penalty. So we have to check what kind of penalty Indy got caught for. Where are the penalties here? I have another, here's my penalty chart. So pass play on the offense. .53 is going to be an illegal block in the backs for 10 yards. So that'll knock Indy back 10 yards back to their 40s, back to the Chicago 46, which will bring up second and 19 for Indy from the Chicago 46. 38 is going to bring Chicago, 38 and 4 is 42, will bring Chicago out in dime. 1-1 and dime is going to be an inside left. On an inside run, they're looking at number 56, which is going to be Dominic Rhodes on an inside run. And the key player that we're going to be checking here on an inside left, we're looking at the left guard, so we're checking blocking on this one. If I can ever keep we're checking the left guard, we're checking Dylan Gandy. Oh boy, this could be problematic. Let's see what happens on the run play. All right, a 2 means he passes the check, and then a 5-3 for Rhodes. 5-3 is going to be good for 4 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yards, but that's going to bring up third, 10, 20, 30, 40. That's going to bring up third down and a long way to go. So third and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So third and 15 at the Chicago 42. 45 and 4 is 49, will bring Chicago out in dime again. A 6-2, and dime is going to be a long pass. Indy wants to go for it all here. Target is going to be 61. On a long pass, that's going to be going to... On a long pass, Indy is going to be looking for Brandon Stokely on that. So we need to check who the key player is going to be on the pass here. Long pass, we're looking at the strong safety in dime, which is Daniel Manning. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first name. Anyway, we're all set for that play, so we need to get Manning's sheet back out again to see what happens on a long pass. All right, we're looking at the strong safety. Okay. All right, so first of all, a 5-6 on Manning's long pass card is pressure. Oh dear. But they won't get to Manning, so he will escape the pressure, which means now we need to look for a secondary receiver. So where's Manning? Where's Manning looking for this one? 61. He's still looking long. Who's he looking for He's looking for 45 long, which is going to be to Reggie Wayne. Then we need to roll this against his catch rating. And Wayne will drop that one. That one will get through Wayne's hands and be incomplete. So Chicago holds. Chicago will hold and force the Colts to potentially try to kick a field goal. But that's going to be that would be a 59-yard kick. That would be a long one, although probably makeable for Adam Vinatieri. What would he have to roll on for a field goal to make that? That's a 50. That would be a 59-yard kick. Actually, he couldn't make that, so I think they're going to have to punt it away. So the Colts are going to punt it away. Actually, from the 42, they would have to punt it away. So we'll flip a card to see if there's a penalty. There is no penalty here. So now we'll roll for the 50-yard line and closer. A 3-6. 3-6 is going to be a touchback, which means Chicago will get that back. We'll get that at their own 20. And we'll tick off another 10 seconds. And that'll give us 1st and 10 for Chicago. It would help if I get them to their own 20. 1st and 10 for Chicago from their own 20. Just checking my time on the camera. 10 plus 1 is 11. Will bring Indy out in starters. Let me switch over to offensive sheets for Chicago and defense for Indianapolis. All right, so Indy's out in starters. The play call here for Chicago. 2-6 is going to be a short pass. Targeting player 54 on a short pass. That's going to be McKee looking for that one, and the key player we're looking at here. Offensive kicking team penalty, which we'll have to check that. On a quick pass or a short pass? Short pass. And 54. So we're actually looking for Thomas Jones on this one. On a short pass. This is going to end out of bounds, and we're looking at the left outside back, which in starters for Indianapolis is Gilbert Gardner. Before we get to the play, I need to change my battery. So I just now realized that I checked the wrong penalty range on one of Indianapolis's last penalties, on probably that illegal block, where I checked Chicago's penalty range, but Indy's was a 4, so it was still a penalty anyway. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, our key player was the left outside back. We were targeting number 60. Actually, we were targeting 54. Key player, left outside back. Okay, we're all set. We also have to keep an eye out for a penalty for Chicago on this play. So let's see what happens for Grossman. 4-3 on a short pass. 4-3, we check against the catch rating, which that will be caught by Jones. Let's see what kind of yardage he rolls. 3-2. It's going to be, we're rolling again on medium. Oh boy. Let's see what happens here. 5-4. That's 19 yards if the flag, wait a minute. Okay, that's 19 yards if the flag doesn't cause Chicago problems. So let's see what happens with the penalty. All right, so team, but we have to check the flag. Chicago's penalty range is a 5 on offense. That one's coming back. Let's see what it's coming back for. We'll tick off 10 seconds. On a pass play, 43 is going to be holding. 10-yard penalty on Chicago, replay first down. So that would push Chicago back to the 10. Ouch. That's rather unfortunate for Bears fans. So now we're looking at 1st and 20 for Chicago from their own 10. 20 plus 21 is going to bring Indy out a nickel. 5-1 a nickel is going to be an inside right. Inside right targeting, giving the ball to Jones. And the key player here on an inside right is going to be the nickelback, which there currently is not a nickelback. And there might actually be if they're coming out a nickel. Yep, there is a nickelback actually, Bob Sanders. So the ball is going to Thomas Jones there, which means we're looking at a 1st and 20 from Chicago's own 10. So let's see if he's able to make the play. That's a 4, so he's not able to make the play, and a 1-2. It's going to be a 4-yard run. 3-4. Okay, so key player was the nickelback. 4 yards. And that'll bring up 2nd and 16. Chicago from their own 14. Taking off time, 10, 20, 30, 40. 2nd and quite a long way to go. So 32 plus 1 is 33 will bring Indianapolis out in dime. 3-1 is going to be a short pass. Looking at 51 on a short pass. That's going to be going, they're going to be looking for Jones with that one. And the key player on a short pass. Defense return team penalty, okay. Hold that thought. Injury check, and on a short pass, we're looking at the right cornerback. Okay, and dime, that's going to be Jason Davis on a short pass. Okay. So that was the right cornerback. Okay. Let's see what happens on the pass play. We're looking at a short pass. First we go to Grossman. A 6-3. 6-3 on a short pass is a possible catch, and a 2 will be good for a catch. So we need to see what happens with the short pass to Jones. 4-2. We're rolling again on medium. 1-4. 1-4 on medium is going to be 14 yards. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But we need to check the flag. Indianapolis' defensive penalty range is a 4. No penalty there, so it's going to be 3rd and 2 for Chicago. Chicago from their own 28. And I believe... Oh, we also have to check for an injury. So Jones's injury rating is a... Where is his injury rating on here? Let me see if I can find where his injury rating is. Oh, endurance and injury ratings. Okay, so his injury rating... So Jones's injury rating is a 1. No injury, but only just. He was a little bit slow to get up, but not that slow to get up. 3rd and 2. 6 plus 1 is 7. Will bring Indy out in run defense. Play call. 3-5 is going to be a short pass. We're targeting We're targeting 24 on a short pass. 24. They're going to be looking to throw this one to Rashid Davis, and the key player on a short pass is going to be the left defensive tackle, and this one will end out of bounds. So in run, left defensive tackle is Andy McFarland. This is going to be a short pass, though. So 24. Left defensive tackle out of bounds. And we got to tick off time. We got to tick off time from the last play. 10, 20, 30, 40. So now we get to roll. So now we have to roll on Grossman's card to see how the play starts. Let's see, a 4-1. 4-1 on a short pass, I believe. Yes. That's going to fall incomplete. We'll tick off 10 seconds, and then Chicago's going to have to punt again. As it's now 4th down, and, well, they could go for it on 4th and 2, but they don't want to give, I don't think they want to give Indianapolis this good field position this early in the game. Because they could run, because Indy could start to run away with this one pretty quickly. So I think the Bears are just going to punt this one away. Which means we'll get over to our punter. We're outside the 50 again. So we'll see what happens on the punt here. First we have to flip over a card to see if there's a penalty. There is not. And we disregard everything else on there. So now the Bears are bringing Brad Maynard in to punt again. Actually, let me make a note here. (1-6). That should be a booming kick. 53, but it's actually bad coverage. So 10. Actually, I did it the other way, so it should have been this way. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3. Which means the Colts will pick that one up at the 19. Let's see who's returning this one for Indy. It will be player 36 on a punt return. I should have gotten their sheets ready. On a punt return, 36 is Terrence Wilkins, who's got the return on this one. Let's see how his return goes. We already know the coverage is bad on this one. So let's see what happens here. 1-6 is going to be a 2-yard return. Surprisingly, the Bears do get down there. Put a stop to any kind of shenanigans. Anyway, Indianapolis will now take over with their worst field position all day. They're at their own 21. God forbid. We'll tick off another 10 seconds. So Indianapolis at their own 21. All right, 10 plus 4 is 14. Will bring Chicago out in starters. 1-2 is going to be an inside left. Actually, no. 1-2 is going to be a sweep left, which these can end out of bounds, but there's no reason to have it end out of bounds this early. Targeting player 36 on a sweep left. So this is an outside run. They're giving the ball to Joseph Adai on this one. And the key player we're checking here is going to be the right inside back, which Chicago in starters doesn't have a right inside back. So it looks like Adai is getting free run of this one. So we just need the white and blue D6. I know there's an advanced, I think there's an advanced rule for substitutions, but I'm not going to play with that in this video. So Adai basically gets a free run here. 1-3 is going to be good for a 3-yard run. 1, 2, 3. We'll tick off another 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 6. Indy from their own 24. 12 plus 4 is 16. We'll keep Chicago in starters. 4-4. It's going to be a medium pass. Manning's going to try to make something happen through the air. Targeting player 43, which on a medium pass, 43 on a medium pass is going to be Reggie Wayne. And the key player we're looking at on a medium pass here, presumably a defensive player. Quarterback fumble, so if Manning takes off, free safety is who we're looking at there. So in starters, that's going to be Chris Harris on a medium pass. Let's see what happens with Manning. One four on a medium pass. 1-4. Possible catch. Wayne will get that one. And on a 1-1, he's going to take that for 13 yards, and that will be enough for an Indy first down. We were looking at the free safety. And that will bring up a first down for Indianapolis. I have been doing horrible at paying attention to down markers. Indy from their own 37. I'll tick off 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, that will keep Chicago in starters. And the next play is going to be a 3-4, which is going to be another short pass. Looking at player 29, which on a short pass for Indy, short pass is going to be going to Brandon Stokely. Let's see who the key player we're looking at on the short pass is. Short pass, we're looking at the strong safety. So in starters, we're looking at Daniel Manning. All right, we're all set. 1st and 10 for Indy from their own 37. (3-1) for Manning on a short pass. Actually, I forgot to note the the key player here. Strong safety. Okay. 3-1 on a short pass. 3-1 is an X. Stokely's going to drop that one incomplete. We'll tick off 10 seconds there. 2nd and 10. (20 plus 4 is 24. Will bring Chicago out in nickel this time. 2-1 is going to be an 2-1 is going to be an inside left. Going at player 80 on an inside run. We'll check who that's going to be on an inside run. It's going to be Dominic Rhodes. And the key player here, this will end out of, actually, was this an inside run? Okay, yes, this was an inside run. So we're looking at the nose tackle and nickel, which the Bears don't have a nose tackle, but an inside run can end out of bounds. So nothing's going to happen there. And Rhodes is basically going to get a free run out of this one. A 4-2 is going to be good for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. And that will bring up 3rd and 7 for Indy from their own 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, 3rd and 7. 21 plus 4 is 25. Chicago will be out in nickel again. 5-5 is the call. Yeah, they're still going for a medium pass on this one. Targeting player 8. Medium pass. Oh boy, Colts are looking for Marvin Harrison on this one. Who are we checking? On a medium pass, we're looking at the right inside back. Which in third, well, where were we at? 3rd and 7, so 21 nickel. Right inside back is Lance Briggs, and we're looking at a medium pass. So it looks like Indy's got a bit of a mismatch here. Okay, a 2 is actually we got to look at Manning's card. So 6-1. Uh-oh, Manning's got a scramble on that one, which I believe goes right to Manning's scramble section, right? Yes. So Manning's going to scramble on a 6-5 for 4 yards. And that'll be 4th down. Fourth and 3. Indy from their own 44, and they are going to punt this one away. 10, 20, 30, 40. So Indy will punt the ball away here. We'll get the punt section, we'll get punt teams on. Okay, here we go. Flip a card to see if there's a penalty. There is not. So now we're going to have Hunter Smith come in for the first time to punt today. Let's see, a 4-3. It's going to be a 59-yard punt, and the coverage will be good. 59. Good coverage. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that's going to go in for a touchback. So Chicago will bring that out to the 20. And Chicago will take over 1st and 10 at their 20. And before we get into setting up the next play, I need to take a small break. 1st and 10 for Chicago from their own 20. Let's see, 10, 11 will bring Indianapolis out in starters. Play call here. It's going to be a 6-5, which is going to be a long pass. Oh boy, their Bears are looking for it all here. They're looking to go long. Targeting number 26, which on a long pass will be... They're looking for Muhsin Muhammad with this one again, and they're targeting... The key player here on a long pass is going to be the strong safety, and this play will end out of bounds. Assuming there's a catch. Strong safety in starters is Antoine Bethea. Alright, so we'll roll this up and see what happens with Grossman on a long pass. Let's see, a 3-1. Pressure rating, so we're checking his pressure rating. That's a 0, which means Grossman escapes. So we need to see where he's looking. An 11 means he's looking for a quick dump off. So let's see where he's looking. He's looking for the original receiver. He's looking for Muhammad at quick depth. But I think the ball would just fall incomplete in that case, wouldn't it? If the number doesn't have a rating at that depth, using the secondary receiver's R rating. Then use the secondary receiver from the FAC. On these, use the secondary receiver on the FAC to get an incomplete or original. Secondary receiver on the FAC to get an incomplete or original. No role for a secondary receiver. He plays a medium pass. Quarterback gets a pressure rating that he fails from the medium. Roll a 24. This falls in the short. So this doesn't tell me what happens if he doesn't have a if the targeted receiver doesn't have a depth, doesn't have a play at that depth. Actually, wait a minute. Looking at quick, the original, I think it would just fall incomplete. At least that's what I'm going to rule for the video purposes, to keep things moving. Mostly because this video is already getting to be very long, and I'm not looking forward to where it's going. So we've got a 2nd and 10 for Chicago from their own 20. 20 plus 1 is 21 is going to bring Indy out in nickel this time. Play call here. There's a 3-4. We're going for another short pass. We're going for a short pass this time. Targeting number 12. And at a short pass, we have Muhammad again, who actually has a depth this time. Our key player on defense, we're going to have an injury check as well. But we're looking at the left inside back in nickel. Left inside back in nickel is Rocky Boyman. We're looking at a short pass here. So let's see what happens with Grossman. That's a 5-3. On a short pass, 5-3. What's that result? That's a /?. I wonder if that's supposed to be just a question mark. No. That wouldn't be an accident. Oh, I remember what it is. It depends on the depth. So because this is a short pass, oh dear, this could be a problem. So we check the receiver's rating for an interception if it's less than. So checking if it's a 1, that ball is going to fall incomplete. We'll tick off another 10 seconds in a second. 3rd and 10, Chicago from their own 20. They can't make much happen today. So 1:20 left in the quarter. 30 plus 1 is 31 is going to bring Indy out in dime. 6-6. Chicago's looking long again. They're looking at receiver 41 for a long pass. That's going to be going to Bernard Berrien, and we're checking. Oh, we had an injury check. That probably would have been on the ball carrier, but the ball fell incomplete. So we'll check. We're going to check Grossman for that one. His injury rating is a 1, though. Nope, nothing happening there. Okay, so we're targeting. So the key player here on a quarterback fumble. So if he takes off, we got to check that. On a long pass, we're looking at the free safety. Free safety in dime is Marlon Jackson on a long pass. So let's see what happens with the play. All right, a 3-5 on a long pass. 3-5. Pressure rating again. 3. That's going to bring... Oh, no. Actually, Grossman's going to escape again. So we need to see where he's looking for a secondary receiver. 63, he's still looking long. Where is he looking? At 74. 74 going long. He's looking at Desmond Clark for this one, so we're going to roll against a catch rating of a 2. And it's incomplete. Chicago goes 3 and out, and they're going to have to punt this one away. We'll get punt teams out. Okay. We will get punt team ready. Brad Maynard into punt again. And since they're outside the 50, that's what they'll use. We'll flip over the card. Oh, pressure. We had to check for Grossman's fumble, actually. His fumble rating is a 4. That's a 3, so he, I believe, less than keeps the ball. I cannot get that straight for the life of me. Let's see, fumble. No, it actually is a fumble. So he had to take off, which means now we need to see what happens with the fumble. Chicago loses that one, which means Indy will actually pick up the ball at the 20, so they're going to end up with great field position. So never mind, we're not punting. We have 1st and 10 for Indy. Actually, we'll just do it this way. Indy's got great field position. They're at the Chicago 20. Let's see, 10 plus 4 is 14. We'll bring Chicago out in starters. 5-5 is going to be a medium pass. We're looking at receiver 14 for Indianapolis, so we actually need to get Indy's offensive sheets ready. Medium pass 14 is they're looking for Marvin Harrison. And in starters, Chicago is going to be relying on, we have an injury check, but on a medium pass, they're relying on the nickelback, which starter does not have. So we'll check Manning's card and see what happens first. I don't think I ticked off time because I've been terrible at remembering that. .66 from Manning on a medium pass. It's going to be a catch rating, and Harrison will catch that one. 1-4. It's going to be 13 yards, and he'll get down to the 6 with that one for a first down, but we have to check for the injury first. 14. So medium pass. We have to check for an injury on Harrison. Harrison's injury rating is a 1. Nope, he's all fine. So that'll tick off 40 seconds. And it will be 1st and goal for Indy at the Chicago 6. All right, so essentially it's 1st and 6. 10 will bring Chicago out in starters, though. 3-3 is going to be an inside left, looking at 18. So player 18 on an inside left, targeting 18. It's going to be Joseph Adai. And the player we're checking as the key player here. Defense return team penalty. So we roll now against the penalty. Chicago's defensive penalty range is a 4. They will get charged with a penalty for offsides. That'll bring Indy. I believe anything inside the 20 is just half the distance to the goal. Yes. That's what I'm going to go with anyway. So we roll for that, targeting 18. And we will be targeting quarterback fumble, but that's not going to be a thing here. We'll be looking at the center for blocking. So on an inside left, we're looking at Jeff Saturday for that. So we'll roll for a die. That's a 3, so he passes the check, and a 2-1 for a die. He's going to take that 3 yards and take that right into the house for a touchdown. So that will be another score for Indianapolis, and that will take us to the end of the quarter after we kick the extra point. So, right. This is going to be... We'll check for a kicking team penalty. No penalty there, and Vinatieri will tack on the extra point. And after 1, scores 14-0 in favor of Indianapolis. We'll get ready for the second quarter, the start of the second quarter, where we're going to have a small change. As you can see, I have updated the scoreboard to reflect it now being 14-0 in favor of Indianapolis. So I also alluded to making a small change in how I'm playing this game. The change I'm going to make is going to be reflected in how I call plays. So once I put this back away, without getting another pawn out, I'll explain what I'm talking about. So I've been using this matrix. Matrix essentially to call my plays on the solitaire system. I've also been using this to help me determine what defense the defense is coming out in. I'm going to continue to use this side of it, but I'm not going to use this side of the matrix system. I'm going to start calling my own plays and see if that helps, because I'm kind of souring on this game a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the solitaire play calling system, but I'm going to try calling my own plays and being a little bit logical about that. We'll still use the fast action cards though to determine our targets and our key players, but otherwise I'm going to start calling the plays on both teams. So we're all set. So that's like rambles out of the way. Let's get to the kickoff. First, we need to flip a card to see if there's a penalty. There's a fumble, which will be checked after the play is over. So no penalty there, which means now we kick off. I've got Indy's kickoff unit ready to go. Vinatieri's all set to boot this one off. That's a 6-4, which is going to be 63 yards and bad coverage. So that'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3. That'll be at the 7. And we're going to check. Our returner is going to be number 2. So we're looking at Rashid Davis on this one. We're going to check the return after the play is over. So Rashid Davis, and we know coverage is bad. That's a 5-1. That's going to be 35 yards, but we have to check for the fumble. 10, 20, 30, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where it would end up, but we have to check the fumble. And a rating of 2, I threw the black D6 in there. There will be a fumble on the play. Yep. Okay, so we have to check the... So right now, Chicago would be considered the offensive team, I believe. That's a 43, so... Actually, Indy picks that one up. Chicago cannot keep the football today. 35 on a lost fumble. Actually, Indy should be... Actually, Chicago would have ended up here. Indy will be here since they're trying to go this way. Now that I've got that figured out. And it is returnable, actually. So I need to check the return procedure. How do we check for... I was run to get the play. Okay, so... The defense recovers and a returner will roll 2d6 and reference the 2d6 roll with the return rating of the recovering player. So we see who recovers the fumble. Where's the section on here? So who... On a kickoff, who would return the fumble? I don't think it specifies who would return the fumble on a kickoff. Secondary receiver. Yeah, it doesn't specify who would return the ball on a kickoff, so we're not going to worry about that here. Anyway, it'll be 1st and 10 for Indy at their own 42. Start the second quarter. Chicago cannot keep the ball today. Let's see, Chicago is going to come out in starters, and I think Indy is going to call a... I think Indianapolis is going to go with any defenses out here. Let's see, Indy's going to go against starters. They seem to be having decent luck through the air. So we're going to try a medium pass. 55 is who we're targeting with that, so that's going to be Stokely that they're looking for on that. Chicago is going to be defending that with, this will end out of bounds, looking at the right inside back and starters, which they currently don't have. That's going to be a medium pass. Target is number established 55. And that was the right inside back, but there is none. All right, so we have to roll first on Manning's card. This is a medium pass. Let's see, a 4-2 for Manning on a medium pass. Pressure rating, but they have no player, so Manning escapes the pressure. Let's see where he's looking after I make a note here. Manning, 16. He's looking for a quick. He's actually looking short. I take it back. So a secondary receiver on a short pass is number 10. On a short pass, that's Marvin Harrison. He's trying to dump that off to. We'll roll for his catch rating. This is a 6, so he should catch this one. Oh yeah, he's got that one. And a 4-2 is going to be good for a 2-yard catch. So Harrison will salvage that play. 2 to Harrison will tick off 40 seconds. And that'll be 2nd and 8. I'm trying to make notes so I don't lose my plays. Indy at their own 44. Chicago 16, 17 will come out will stay in starters. Indy's going to go for, I think they're going to go for an inside, they're going to go for an inside right this time. 72, they're giving that to Rhodes. And our key player on this one, on an inside right, is going to be the middle linebacker, so Urlacher. Oh boy. Let's see how this goes. His run defense is a 5. He will definitely make that play, and a 2-3 is going to be 1 yard. The target was 72. Key player was middle linebacker. Passed and 1 yard. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Indy at their own 45. Ticking off 40 seconds and 20, 30, 40. And I think here they're going to try a medium pass. They need to get yards here. 19 on a medium pass is going to be looking for Harrison. And the key player on this one, this will end out of bounds, but it's the nickelback they're looking at. Chicago, 3rd and 7. 21, 25 is going to bring them out a nickel. So they will have a nickelback on this one. They'll be looking at Ricky Manning on a medium pass. Okay, let's see how this goes for Manning. .63 on a medium pass. That's against the catch rating. Harrison will get that one. Let's see how he does on a medium pass. 1-2. That's going to be a 20-yard catch and a 1st down. So medium pass target was 19. Key player was the nickelback. Complete for 20 yards, and that is a 1st down. The play will end out of bounds, though. 1st and 10 for Indy at the Chicago 35. Okay. That'll bring Chicago out in starters. And Indy is going to they're going to go for an outside run on this one. Targeting a die with that one. So that's going to be an outside right. Looking at player 8. And the key player on a sweep right. Sweep right's going to be the right tackle, so this is going to be an offensive check. Which will bring that over to right tackle. That's Ryan Deem who's making that one. Let's see how this goes for Indy. That's a 5, so he won't make the play, and a 3-1 is going to be a 1-yard run. One-yard run, and we'll tick off 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. Which will bring up that'll bring up 2nd and 9. Indy from the Chicago 34. 2nd and 9, 18, 22 is going to bring Chicago out a nickel. Indy is going to try they're going to try an inside left on this play. Targeting 59 on an inside run. That's going over to Rhodes. 59. And our key player here on an inside, what did I call? Inside left. Inside left, we're looking at the strong safety for this one. Which in nickel for Chicago, strong safety is going to be Daniel Manning on a run defense. Okay, so let's see how this goes for the Colts. 1, so he will make the play, and a 2-6 is going to be a 1-yard run. So 3rd and 8. I'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Colts. From the Chicago 33. We're going to go for a short pass on this one, targeting number 50. 50 on a short pass is going to Brian Fletcher. Our key player will be checking on this one is the nickelback, which Chicago's coming out 24, 28. They are still in nickel, so they will have a nickelback. It'll be Ricky Manning this time on a short pass. So let's see what happens here. All right, a 5-1 for Manning on a, what did I call, short pass. 5-1 is, that's possibly a bad pass, but a 5 is going to fall incomplete, fortunately for the Colts. That was almost trouble. 10 seconds off the clock, and it is now 4th down, and so the drive stalls. 4th and 8. And I think we're going to bring the field goal team on here. This will be a 50-yard kick. So we'll get Adam Vinatieri out to see if the Colts can add to their lead. So we're looking at field goals, and on the field goal matrix, it's a little bit different, where in this case, we'll be rolling to see what distance the kick is good from. So we have a lot of goods from 50, but we'll have to flip a card to see if there's a penalty first. There is not a penalty, so we're rolling for the kick. Let's see what, actually we don't even need the black die for this one. That's a 5-2. The distance there is 41, so that's actually going to be no good. That would have been good from 41 yards, but this was a 50-yard kick. So no good there for the Colts, and the Bears take over. We'll tick off 10 seconds, and the Bears will take over at their 33. All right, so that'll bring Indy out in starters. Chicago is going to go for a... I feel like Chicago wants to test the run game again. So they're going to go for, once I remember to switch sheets, I think they are going to go for an outside run. Actually, they're going to go for... No, they're going to cram it up the middle, actually. They're going to go with an inside left. Targeting 5, which should be Thomas Jones. So let's see who we're checking on an inside left. We're checking the right defensive tackle. So in starters, that will be Raheem Brock. We'll make the roll here. His run defense is a 2. Which he won't make that, so a 3-4 for Jones. 3-4 is going to be good for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. 10, 20, 30, 40. Second down and 7. For Chicago from their own 34. 14, 15 will leave the Indian starters. Chicago is going to go for... They're going to go for a short pass on this one. Targeting 16. We should have checked for a QB fumble, but he was handing the ball off. So, actually, I wonder if you check for that on a run play. I don't think you do actually check for quarterback fumble on a run play. That wouldn't make sense to me. Unless he fumbles, he might fumble the handoff potentially. In that way it might make sense. But I don't think... you would use that on a fast action play. Anyway, so 16, yep, we've given it to Jones. And we're checking for... So we called it a short pass. So targeting 16 on a short pass. That's going to, they're looking for Berrien with that one, and the key player on a short pass is the right outside back, which is Cato June on a short pass. 2nd and 7 for Chicago. 2-2 for Grossman on a short pass. 2-2 is a possible reception, except Berrien's going to let that go through his hands, and it's going to be incomplete. We'll tick off 10 seconds, and it'll be third and 7. Chicago at their own 34. 21, 22 will leave Indianapolis in nickel defense. Chicago, I think, Chicago's going to take a deep shot. 68. On a medium pass, they're looking for Desmond Clark. And on a medium pass, we'll be checking the right cornerback in nickel, which is Jason David. 3rd and 7. One 6 for Grossman is a possible reception. 5. Clark will catch that one. Let's see what our result is. 3-3. It is going to be 20 yards, and that will be good for a Chicago first down. Our defensive player was the right cornerback. 30-40. Okay, so now I think I'm starting to get the flow a little bit more. 11 will bring Indianapolis out in starters. Chicago, actually, I'm going to finish making my notes here. Chicago from their own... No, actually, they're at the Indy 44 right now. I didn't realize that. All right, they're going to go for an inside right, targeting 40, which I believe will be going to... Yep, that'll be going to Jones. And the key player we're looking at on the inside right is the other running back, presumably. So it looks like this is probably going to be... how do we check that? Because I've never seen having a running back as the key offensive player. Is there a way that explains that? Run block rating of offensive linemen. Is that how that goes? No. Now when the key player is a running back, I'm going to look this up and I'm going to take a small break. I finally figured out what that RB as the key player translates to. So it's the other running back, and we have the block rating that we have to check. So in this case, we'll be looking at Cedric Benson's block rating. Now that we've got that figured out, we're looking at 1st and 10 from the Indianapolis 44. Unfortunately, Benson's block rating is a 1, so he's going to fail that play. And a 5-4 on an inside run is going to be a 3-yard run. 1, 2, 3. We'll tick off 40 seconds. Chicago at the Indy 41. 10, 20, 30, 40. I think Chicago's going to continue to pound the ball. They're going to go for a sweep right this time. 63. They're going to give the ball to Benson on this play. And we're checking fumble chance. Defense return team penalty. Now we roll against the defense return team. Indy's penalty rating is a 4. They will get hit with a penalty, and it's offside. It's offsides if now. Okay, so we've got a 5-yard penalty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to turn into 2nd and... That should have been 2nd and 7, but now it's 2nd and 2 once I factor in the penalty. That's Indy at the 36. Okay, so that's all handled. Offensive kicking team penalty, so we're checking both penalties. Another defense penalty. There we go. We'll have an injury check, but on a sweep right, we're checking the left defensive end, which in starters is going to be Robert Mathis. So we have to make all kinds of penalty checks here. Actually, we've got to make a fumble check as well. A 2, Mathis will make the play, and a 6-5 on an outside run is going to lose a yard, but we are going to be busy on this. So target was 63, and the key player was the right defensive end. Did I check the right one? No, I didn't. Didn't matter, same run rating. Okay. So now we have to check for a fumble rating. Benson's a fumble of 0. He won't fumble that. Defense or return team penalty. We've got 2 of those. So this was a very nasty play. So we're going to roll white. Or actually, we're going to roll these one at a time. This is going to be a mess of a play. So we actually are going to have offsetting penalties potentially, but the defense is going to net a penalty out of this. So first for Indy, they will get hit with a penalty. 45. On a run play on the defense is going to be an incidental face mask, so a 5-yard penalty. Then for Chicago's penalty, we'll roll the black die for the penalty, and the 2Ds, and the white and the black, the blue and the white in APA style. 31, since that will be a penalty on the offense, is going to be holding. Then we have to roll for another penalty for Indy. Actually, we'll do the same thing here. Their defensive penalty rating is a 4. At 12, it's going to be offside again. So I think a penalty is all offset and we just replay the down. So we're back to 2nd and 2. At least that's how I'm going to go with that. Which means all of these can move to the discard pile. That was crazy. So we're right back to 2nd and 2. Chicago from the Indy 36. Only the offside, I think, stands. That'll leave Indy out in starters. We're going to go with an inside left this time. We're going to keep pounding the ball. On an inside left, that'll be going to Jones. And the key player we're checking here, fumble chance. Another fumble check. Offensive kicking team penalty. Good grief. Potential quarterback fumble, but now we at least have somebody to check on an inside left. We're checking the center. So target was 41. And we're checking the center on this one. So that's going to be Olin Kreutz we're looking at. Okay. Let's roll the play. So a 3 means he will make the check, and a 2, what is that, a 2-2. An inside run will be 3 yards. That'll be enough for a first down, assuming the flags or the fumbles don't bring it back. So actually, fumble. So no fumble on the first play, but there is a fumble adjustment of a 1. No fumble there. Then we have to check for an offensive penalty. Chicago's offensive penalty again is a 5. There is a penalty, and a 26 is holding, so that's going to be 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, and that will be 2nd down and 12. I'll tick off the time here in a second. Chicago from the Indy 46. 10 seconds on a penalty. Chicago's going to go for a medium pass. 24 would bring Indianapolis out in nickel. 21 on a medium pass. They're looking for Muhammad with that one. And we are going to be checking for an injury, but we're also checking on a medium pass. So 21. Our key player here is the right outside back. All right, let me grab the blue pawn over here. Right outside back in nickel is non-existent. Before we roll the play, I do need to change my battery. I think I lost the play from that one because I forgot to record. So what happened was we ended up having a completion for 10 yards on the last pass play that we called. It was a medium pass. We were looking for... Who were we looking for? Bernard... No, we would have been looking for Muhammad. He did catch it for 10 yards. So now we've got that figured out. We're going for an inside right. We're giving the ball to Jones. And our key player... Actually, no. 35... Yeah, we are giving the ball to Jones. Play is going to end out of bounds, but we're checking the... On an inside right, we're checking the left defensive tackle in starters, which is Mathis. So 3rd and 2. From the Indy 36. A 6 won't make the play, so a 6-1 for Jones is going to be 3 yards, and that'll be just enough for a first down. Actually, we were checking the left. We needed to check the left guard, I think. So that was Brown we were coming over to. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I got it straight. So it was Brown we were coming over to. So we actually did make the play, which on a 6-1 was 3 yards, and that's a first down. But the play ended out of bounds, so we only tick off 10 seconds for that. All right, that'll be 1st and 10 for Chicago from the Indy 23. They'll be out in starters for this one. Chicago's going to go for a... Oh, we got to roll for an injury check on Jones as well. His injury rating is a 1. Nothing happening there. So we're going to go for a... We're just going to keep pounding it. We're going to go for an outside left this time. Giving it to Jones, and we're checking on a sweep left. We're checking the left end. Target is, wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, 3, we'll go with that. Then left end. Okay, so the left end in starters is, looks like the left defensive end, that's Mathis. Chicago threatening here. Can Indy stop? Can Indy hold? Okay, a 2 means they will make the play, and a 6-2 is going to be 2 yards. 40. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Bears from the Indy 21. 16, 17, Indy will still be out in starters. Chicago's going to go for a short pass to number 80. So on a short pass, we're looking for Adrian Peterson is getting his name called for the first time today. And on a short pass, we're checking on the right outside back. Which in starters is Cato June. And we're looking, what did we say, short pass? Yes. Let's see what happens. All right, that's a 3-5 for Grossman on a short pass. 3-5. Possible catch. 1. Peterson will catch that one. Let's see what kind of yardage he gets out of it. That's a 3-1. 3-1. That'll be good for 8 yards. I think a first down, too. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that's exactsies for a first down. 20, 30, 40. So that's 8 yards, and yep, exactsies for a first down. Which will bring up 1st and 10 for Chicago from the Indy. Wait. Chicago should have been at the 13. Apparently I can't math today. Yeah, from the 21, 8 yards would get them to the 13. Indy out in starters. We're going to go for a quick pass on this one. Targeting 44 on a quick pass. That will be Jason McKee we're looking for on that one. On a quick pass, we're checking the nose tackle, which starters doesn't have. So let's see what happens here. All right, a 4-1 for Grossman on a quick pass. 4-1 is going to be incomplete. Targeting 44. Checking the nose tackle. So that'll be 2nd and 10. From the Indy 13. We'll tick off 10 seconds. Chicago this time is going to go for they're going to go for an inside right. 53, they're giving that ball off to Benson. And we're checking for an injury, but we're also looking at the left inside back. Which doesn't exist in starters. So let's see what happens with the play here for Benson. 4-5. 4-5 is 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we have to check for an injury, which I'll use the black die for that. No injury there. Taking off 40 seconds. 10, 20, 30, 40. And it's 3rd and 5 for Chicago from the Indy 8. So they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Chicago's going to go for Chicago's going to try for another inside left. 18, they're giving that ball to Jones, and we're checking possible quarterback fumble, but on an inside left, we're checking the strong safety. 18, targeting a strong safety. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Let's see, 3rd and 5. Okay, 4, that's a strong safety in starters. He doesn't make the play on the run. 3-2, 6 yards, and that's a first down. So not quite a touchdown, but they can. So 10, 20, 30, 40. All right, 1st and goal now for Chicago from the 2. They're just going to start trying to pound the ball in here. Inside right, going to Thomas. And on an inside right, we're checking defense return team penalty now. So we check now against Indy's penalty rating of a 4. That's a 1, so that's offsides, which means they're going to advance closer. We are checking. This will end out of bounds, but we're looking on an inside right. We're looking at the running back's block, so Benson's block. His block rating, unfortunately, is a 1. Which that is not. It's about a 5-4. Might still be enough to score. Yep, that will be enough to score. That'll be a 1-yard touchdown run by Thomas Jones. So we'll tick off 40 seconds, 10, 20, 30, 40. So at 9:30 of the second quarter, and we'll see if the Bears can add the extra point. Robbie Gould coming in to try to kick it for them. We'll flip over a card to see if there's a penalty. There is not, and the extra point's good. So it'll be 14-7 in favor of the Colts. But I think that's where I'm actually going to call the video. I was thinking about that as I was on my break. I'm actually not very happy with how football has been presenting on the channel. It doesn't. Part of it is admittedly that I'm not as familiar with this game as I would have liked to be. I thought I could handle it okay. I seem to be doing fine, but I just don't like how clunky it feels. I don't know, it feels to me like there's a bit of a slow flow with football where things are breaking up constantly, where you've got to check the charts, but I don't mind checking charts, but it happens in a way that the flow just, really to me at least, isn't there. It breaks it up a little bit too much. So, I don't know how much football we're going to see on the channel. And I know we had Apple football scheduled for next week, but I don't know if we're going to go ahead with that video or not. I haven't decided yet. If we don't go ahead with next week's Apple football video, though, it'll be a doubleheader in my 1991 playoffs and payoff pitch baseball. What games we'll be featuring, I don't know yet, because a lot of that's going to turn on what happens with Game 4, what happens with Game 3s coming up yet this week, and eventual possible Game 4s. Speaking of Game 3, later today, we're going to have Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves, as that series shifts to Atlanta, and the Dodgers have the chance to knock out the Braves in Game 3. We'll have Tim Belcher going for the Dodgers, and John Smoltz will be going for the Braves to try to save their season. On the subject of the playoffs, tomorrow night's video will feature another Game 3 as the Kansas City Royals face the Toronto Blue Jays in their Game 3 as that series shifts to Kansas City. David Wells will be going for the Blue Jays, and Luis Aquino will be going for the Royals. As for what else is coming up on the channel, Wednesday we're playing Aeon's End. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the Fallout Official Vault Dwellers Cookbook with the dessert Berry Crumble. Next week, I'll know more on what we're doing on Wednesday for sure. Certainly by Mystical Munchies, but I might know by the time we get to Aeon's End on Wednesday. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, Take care, everyone.